Hey, what's going on everybody? This is iAppleGeek3 and in this video I'll be showing you guys a few tips to help you improve your battery life experience on iOS 9. Now everybody knows in the battery section you have a low power mode. However, that's not available for all devices. For example, my iPod Touch 6th generation or any of the iPads. It's only available on iPhones. So I'll be showing you ways to save your battery life without low power mode. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Starting from the top, we have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. If you're not using either one of these, be sure to disable them, especially if you're on the road and you're not connected to Wi-Fi. Just turn it off here inside of Control Center. It's very convenient the way they made it. And of course, Bluetooth, if you don't have any Bluetooth devices connected or if you're not in your car, go ahead and just turn it off. This will also help save battery life. Also disables AirDrop, which also sucks up battery life, so that's a good thing. Alright, the next one is go ahead and go into your display and brightness and toggle this down to where it's comfortable for you. Don't keep it at max brightness though. That is pretty ridiculous. That is literally one of the biggest battery drains of all time, is to keep your brightness up all the way. So just adjust it to what you feel comfortable with. Next up, we have sounds. If you're on an iPhone, you can go ahead and come in here and disable vibration. However, I don't have it here to show you guys, but disable vibration for things you don't use. Alright, next up we do have location services inside of settings and privacy. If you don't use location services at all, just toggle the whole thing off. Like, there's no point in keeping it on. However, most people do use at least some location services like GPS tracking for maps. So I would recommend scrolling down to system services and turning off anything in here that you don't use. Now, most of these things it's not going to affect how you use your device. Just turn it off. Like frequent locations, you really don't want that on because it tracks everywhere you go. That's really not cool. And here in the product improvement section, there's just some bonus stuff that you don't really need to have on. It just all eats your battery life in the background. Go back to privacy, scroll down to advertising and turn on limit ad tracking. This will keep app developers from tracking your online activity to show you relevant ads. So this will help eliminate some of that background activity. Same with diagnostics and usage. I always keep it on don't send because then again, it's not sending random stuff in the background. Now next up we have the iTunes and App Store section on the main settings page. Now turn off all of these automatic downloads. For the most part, you're not going to use any of these except automatic updates perhaps, but that's about it. So go ahead and turn these off because these are always running in the background, draining your battery life. Not a good thing. Next up, we have something inside of the wallpaper sections. So go ahead and go to your wallpaper by tapping on it, and in here you can select whether or not to set a still image or the perspective zoom, which makes the 3D effect on your home screen. Now disabling this will still have a 3D effect on your home screen, but it will be much smaller and much easier on your battery life. So this is a very good option if you want to keep all your application animations. Now, a big factor in draining battery life is inside of mail contacts calendars, and that is called fetch new data or push. Go ahead and turn off push if you don't use it. For example, right here I have it on iCloud. I'm going to turn that off because I don't use my iCloud account as much. And in here you have your fetch schedule, which I do recommend setting and putting on all of your accounts. That way it doesn't always check for mail in the background, but instead it follows your schedule, which is much better on your battery life. Those are just some of the major ones. Let's go ahead and go to settings general and see what we can do here. First of all, go ahead and turn off Siri if you don't use her. That means, well, first of all, she's not always on standby waiting for you to hold down the home button. So that way she's not a background process, especially if you don't use her. Next up, go ahead and update to the latest software update. Of course, if you're jailbroken, don't do this, but if you're not, go ahead and do that. That will also help with battery life. Now next up, turn off Handoff and suggested apps. That way it's not always scanning in the background for what to suggest for you. Of course, background app refresh, that is a really obvious one. Pretty much useless, so go ahead and turn that off. This is a major battery drainer. Now a couple things inside of settings general, accessibility, while you scroll down to reduce motion. Now if you go ahead and toggle this on, what this will do is to disable a lot of the animations on your home screen, including that 3D effect in the background and zooming in and out of applications. So if it does make you dizzy, go ahead and just turn this on, and also it will help slightly with your battery life. And if you're really low on juice, go ahead and turn on Greyscale. This will eliminate most of the color from your device, so your device doesn't really have to process all of that. So that's a good thing if you're really low on power. Now the next thing I want to talk about is inside of increased contrast, and that's reduce white point. This helps your device in a sense that it disables some of the white coloring from your screen. That way your backlight isn't working quite as hard to push out all those pixels. So that's a good thing. Now another major one is notifications on the main settings page. In here, go ahead and just toggle off everything you don't use. Of course, in here you can sort depending on how you want your notifications to appear. But in here, like games or Find My iPhone or Find My Friends or Game Center or applications like those, they don't use notifications. So just turn them off if you don't want them, or of course you can adjust them to your liking if it's a messaging application or whatever the case may be. So these are just some of the ways you can save battery life, and I believe I covered all of them that you can do very easily from your device. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys liked it and if these tips did help you in any way, shape, or form, be sure to drop a like. If we can reach 5 likes on this video, that would be great. Anyways guys, until next time, peace.